Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an awesome life. Our last slurp in 2018. Are you ready for a new year? I'm so ready, and it's going to be very intense. Now, I want to talk about 2018, what has transpired for so many of us, and what you can look forward to in 2019, because you can look forward to so much. Now, let's just start by saying life is difficult. Why? We've been told that, any kind of, let's just say, challenges do not represent value. We are told that things that happen in our life that are undesirable for us personally, that it shouldn't be that way, and that we should stress out over it and worry. So I'm going to give you some tools and some practices for the new year that are going to help you transition from that old thinking that really blocks us from seeing the opportunities and opening up the gateways to pure manifestation on the highest level. See, we're always manifesting. People say, well, how do I do this and how I do this? I'm like, okay, you are manifesting right now. So let's talk about 2018. We went through a lot of changes these last few years together, haven't we? 2018, we hit another pivotal point that I had, if you look at my videos, I had actually discussed that we were going to go into something pretty big in the fall, that it would be very positive. And sure enough, I got all kinds of you saying, holy cow, what's going on? The earth started to transition because, first of all, we're contributing to that frequency. Everything's energy. So let's talk science. Everything's energy, and everything just resonates on various frequencies. It really is made up of the same thing, the same stuff. All right, so the frequency of that, whatever it is expressing itself, determines on how it shows up in our material world. So you have control over that, you see? So when you go into all of these challenges and these changes and things happen with fear or, not wanting it, battling it, you're creating, actually focusing on the negative frequency of that situation or that thing or whatever's going on. So the first thing that we can do is promise yourself that you will see everything as a challenge for positive change. So it's going to be one of a couple things, and a lot of you saw this going on in 2018. Change is inevitable to progress to higher frequencies. Why? We have to let go of what hasn't been working for us. And the things that we desire have to dissolve, or you're going to get things that show up that push you into that new thing because you've asked for it. So everything's happening because you are orchestrating it. Now, don't forget that it's not some separate entity going, yes, you deserve this, or you don't deserve it. It's actually you doing it. So when you put that energy out there, you're manifesting the events and the situations that are coming forward to grant you your desired manifestation. So some of you would say, like, wait, I lost my job, or I'm struggling, or I didn't get the response I wanted from somebody. All right, so somebody just wrote me, they really want to take my internet training, but they can't afford it. And I said, well, so they want us to basically pay for everything. Well, first of all, I just want you to say, again, that's an opportunity for that person to actually say, wait a second, I want to get an education just like at a university or any other place. What do I need to do myself to be able to take care of myself to get those things that I desire? I have to stop operating in the way I have been, broke and wanting other people to give me things. Maybe you earn it. Maybe you, like I did when I was younger in college, I worked 2 jobs. I ate macaroni and cheese. My mom cried when she found out I was eating macaroni and cheese. I said, don't worry, Mom. I don't buy the cheap stuff. I buy the Kraft 50 cents a box macaroni and cheese. I spring for the expensive macaroni and cheese. That built extreme character for me. The pride of knowing that I could take care of myself and that under extreme duress that I could achieve my goals. So I went after scholarships, right? I earned 2 scholarships, well, more than 2 scholarships, which meant I had to work harder to get those grades, which a lot of people don't like it when I say work, but for me it was, I had to achieve certain things. I had to put forward motion into those things to earn what I wanted to get the things that I desired. So there was a let's just say, a chain of events that had to happen. That's what's happening with you. So 2018, this chain of events, you can either battle it and go crawling back to whatever you were in that's not working for you, or you can say, okay, herein lies the challenge. Am I going to go back to that? Or am I going to move forward? You get to choose. And some of you will stay in your situations because you're allowing fear to take over, because the unknown is a little scary, right? We like to control everything. The ego wants to know what's happening. So 2018, a lot of you actually had a lot of amazing progress. You went into things, we had a lot of people in my internet training, I'll put it up here for you guys, who said, wait a minute, I have to start thinking differently. If I want to live differently, I have to learn a new skill or get an education someplace else to create the life that I want. That means I'm going to have to really go into some turf that might be uncomfortable, right? I don't know about you, but I didn't really enjoy college. So when you make that decision, be okay with what has to transpire in this global, with this planet that we live on that still functions in density. What is required to get there? So do not fear the things you hear out there, the predictions that you may be interpreting as something really negative. Let's say, and by the way, I purposely don't watch, somebody sent me a video from one of these channelers. I don't watch that. I purposely don't watch the other stuff because I don't want to be tainted. I want what I get to come straight from my source. So if you hear me sounding like other people, it's because we're connecting to the collective consciousness, hopefully on the higher frequency. If these are super negative messages, be cautious with that, right? You get to decide what you listen to. So I don't want to listen to the other stuff. I'm getting what I'm going with through my intuition and my downloads, all right? The bottom line is big change is going to continue to happen, but we have raised our frequency, so this is the good news. Things are going to happen at a higher level. So you may see stuff going on out there, but it is really sort of a transition to positive things, not a transition to the negative. Like, oh my gosh, is the planet going to blow up? So we have to start thinking as one unit and one energy, one compassionate, beautiful energy. And when we get away from the me, manifesting just for me, and you start to say, okay, I'm going to manifest positive things for me because I need to change my life and become abundant and become somebody who can take care of myself and not look to other people to help me, but use your resources, of course. So go into the new year with a mindset of, if I desire certain changes, I can manifest anything, then I call it the 3 F's. My e-courses are coming out. There's going to be amazing stuff going on in 2019 you guys will have access to. And that is, the first one is your feelings. Make sure you're in alignment with whatever you're doing. So many of you are going after money in jobs you hate. So many of you are, feeling good about certain things, and then on the other side here, it's not going. Get in alignment with positive feelings. That's a higher frequency. Second thing is, where's your focus? If you're focused on worry and petrified or fear or what's going on out there, then you're not focused on what you can create. And go with those positive feelings. So pick something that you feel positive about. Do my 3-second manifesting. The feelings are important. A lot of you are trying to manifest something and you're still not believing it, and you're coming in with fear, so you're actually pushing it further away. So go into it with positive feelings, and then your focus is on something really beautiful that you desire, that you know already exists. And then the third thing is forward motion. So you're going to take that forward motion under the assumption that that probability will show up. And you have to have the faith to stay in that lane, right, in that frequency, because Faith doesn't question it. So if it doesn't show up when you want it to, or you've given it a timeline, or isn't the job you thought was best for you, you cannot question it if you go into faith, because faith means that wasn't the job that I thought was going to be best for me. Wow, how exciting that job's going to show up, or that opportunity, or that whatever it is. Take care of yourself, right? Take care of you. Again, when you take control over your own life and you say, I'm the one responsible, I'm going to do everything, other people then will want to help you. But when you go to the other people for help and you're coming in with a needy, I don't have the power, you need to help me, and this, you repel those positive influences. They will want nothing to do with you. The jobs, the relationships, the whatever it is, you will repel it. You're coming in with desperate neediness, not believing you have the power. So you take control of your life. You start to move forward. You let the fear go. You let it blow past. Break through it. It will be there because we have a lot of triggers that still are there, and the collective still holds fear. So you just watch it and you say, that's old stuff. What do I desire? What are my feelings about it? My focus must be on that this already exists, and I have to function that way. I have to have a forward motion that this has already happened, and that my new year is a new beginning for me. And every day is, right? So nothing's going to happen at midnight, wherever your country, whatever your time zone, nothing's going to happen at midnight that's really different. It's what you're believing in your head. Oh, it's a new year, and then a lot of times we don't take the action toward it. It should be fun. So there is no such thing as work for me. For me, it's really the forward motion that I'm taking toward the goal that I know already exists. And I'm always hitting higher goals and watching all of the signs that are happening around you without fear. So I'll give you an example. All right, you get messages all the time, right? So I had to make a decision, a personal decision in my life, and I asked for signs. And this is something that I actually, the signs were the opposite of what I really, truly wanted. But I knew that I had to pay attention because there were some changes that need to take place in my life in order for me to go after my bigger goals. And sure enough, holy cow, I got hit with one thing after another that kept saying, you need to do this, you need to do it. It didn't stop. And I finally said to my friends, I said, do you think these are messages? And I don't want to go into details. But let's just say it was blatant telling me that it's time to make a change in certain areas of my life. And it's all good. Nothing that transpired was bad. It was just things that were saying you cannot remain in the same place that you are if you want to progress to these other goals. Certain changes have to take place. That may be happening for you. So you can watch those signs, or you can ignore them and tell yourself whatever you want, and 2019 you will find that you are not progressing the way that you desire. So this is going to take some real forward motion on your part. Be okay with that and know that you're already that probability that you desire, and nothing that's going on out here can deter you, because it will start to transform. Now there's going to be stuff going on out there like, let's say, I'll give an example. How many years have we heard this? The economy's going to collapse, the banking system's going to collapse. I mean, what's new? So the bottom line is that, you can go into this and say, I don't know what that means. It could be the most positive, beautiful thing. Who knows why that may or may not happen? We don't know. But when you are anticipating something that we actually, as a collective, can change, then you're living in fear, and you're actually going to create it. So I never felt that any of that was going to happen. I thought that we're going to have big changes that were going to be very positive. I felt that even our current president, Trump, was a very positive thing for the country, because it was going to really get people to start taking charge of their own lives. So if you don't like something, instead of complaining, I'm seeing more and more people taking control and saying, wait a second, the government doesn't tell us what to do. We don't need to rebel against it or complain. That's a negative influence and a focus on something that we feel is negative, right? And everybody has their own individual opinion. So what you think is good for you. Again, this is respect for the other, whether you believe it's right or wrong. And just say, okay, how do I want to live my life? What kind of a world do I want to live? I need to create that myself and contribute toward that world myself. That means that every thought, every action, everything you do must be on a higher frequency if that's where you want to go. So you cannot have negative thoughts of judgment and hating other people or complaining about everybody. I knew that I was going to get possibly some negative feedback on my global warning. I don't mind that because I respect other people's opinions, but that opinion is your opinion. It doesn't mean everybody else feels that way. I only got one person that said, I hope you get back on track, and I thought, I'm on track. It wasn't a video that you liked. So just remember that you can change your beliefs and your thinking and open up and say, okay, this is what this person believes, especially if it's positive. Who am I to judge it? And then you go along and you create your own positive world and reality because you do control your reality. So again, the feelings behind it, if you're finding yourself criticizing or going into that negative space, that's not good for you, right? It's not good for anybody. Then that's that separatism. And so we have to get past being separate. So that's when we go into stress. We think that other people have money or they're evil or there's, the government or religion or mom and dad or whatever it is. This hatred or anger or, frustration or feeling that somebody else has control over you, when you let that go, you totally empower yourself. And this is what's going to happen in the new year. We're going to take control, those of us who choose to, take control and start to create unbelievable things. You guys are going to start getting messages. Your intuition is going to be so blatant to you and you're going to start acting on it. You're going to start taking moves and making decisions that normally you'd be petrified to do, and now you will embrace because you realize that that's the gateway to a totally new reality. And so when you go in there and you realize, wow, this feels really great, you start to dissolve any fears or blocks that are just self-created and part of the collective, right? We've been told this garbage, for many, many years. So we have to break through those fears in order to get to that other reality that exists right now. 2019 is going to be a pivotal, positive year. And there will be big changes on the planet, and they're going to be positive ones because the old structures and things in place that aren't working, we're not going to support them anymore. So again, if you're not taking massive amounts of pharmaceuticals that you don't benefit from, these ads are hysterical, right? Or eating the junk food or doing the things that are bad for the planet. When we stop doing that, there's no market for it. And so that we as an individual, you wield that kind of power times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5, and it goes on and on. So don't think for a minute that every single thing you do doesn't make a massively huge impact, and I think we're all realizing that. And when we go into that space, your world will elevate because you'll be on the frequency of the others who are also taking charge, doing positive things, thinking positive things, caring about one another, sending blessings and compassion out, and also receiving it. Open gateway for when you feel good, right? You feel good. Things show up. It's like people pick up on that positive energy. This is the space we're going into. We've transitioned. 2018 was a major, wonderful year for me. I saw a lot of changes going on, nothing negative, but a lot of stuff that, you see going on. You're saying, okay, big changes happening, and it's all good. It is all good. So this is when I gave you the global warning is that time's up for us to become one compassionate, beautiful unit. And that any fears about anything else out there on another planet or in another country or another government, it must be dissolved in order for us to raise our frequency. And it's not that the change has to happen so much as the fear of it, the battling with it, the focus on it, the obsession with the negativity of this shouldn't be happening and getting into these negative debates. When you drop off that, there'll be no one to argue with. There'll be nothing to talk about. It'll be like just really great stuff we're doing. Like, what are you doing? Well, we're creating this, agricultural project, and we're going to feed a lot of people, and we're having a blast doing it, and it's just amazing, and it just feels really good, and my life has changed, my health is better now, and it's going to be that kind of world, and you get to participate in it, because we have achieved some goals that even let's just say, the prophecies that were given many years ago with Edgar Cayce and Nostradamus have not come to pass. Why? We raised our frequency, and they said that we had that kind of control. You have that kind of control over your individual life, which is critical, because no one can infringe on your free will. Whatever you open yourself up to, you create. So whatever you believe is real for you. It doesn't mean it's real for me. So that's the ego saying, well, if I believe it, this is how things are. Can you open your mind and say, I just don't have the answers. I don't know. I don't know how everything works, but I do know one thing. We are all energy. We are all frequencies, and we are all one. That's it. And we are all love. And we are loved beyond our imagination. This is an amazing year. So I don't know if you feel it, but most of us, we go into a new year with, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to get the better job, and it's a completely different feeling now. It's sort of a highly spiritually charged feeling that people are thinking, whoa, this planet is changing. This isn't about me getting a raise or me getting the new house for 2019. This is me experiencing a new earth that is amazing, and I'm going to feel different about this, and I'm going to experience amazing things. And so then if you take my e-course, we actually have a whole practice for transformation called Miracles as a Way of Life, and that's what you're going into. Miracles as a way of life will not surprise you anymore. So get ready. It's going to start happening. It has been happening. I have seen it happen already. It's not a 2019 thing. We've already transitioned into it, and it's just going to keep progressing. And we're going to go into a golden era that's going to be amazing. So the next 5 years are going to be very interesting and fun and expansive and beautiful if you stay on that track and you don't question it, and you know that you're in charge of your reality and that you have a responsibility to the collective. And when you do that, you recognize that we are not separate beings, that we are one beautiful energy, and that we are responsible for contributing to that. Wow, bing, 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 somebody's trying to get a hold of me. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Happy New Year, my friend. This is, see? Hacker T Dog isn't going to come out too many times, hopefully, in 2019. So I hope that you have a great holiday season. That's over Christmas, but oops. And I'll see you New Year's Day 2019. Blessings, my friend. Namaste.